Welcome to another episode of Health Your Way podcast, where we discuss health issues ranging from physical, mental, emotional, as well as current facts.
Today we're going to be talking about bro science and if it's science fiction or is it actual fiction. And please allow me to introduce Roman Calvy. I know, I'm glad to have you again.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate it. So just a high-level introduction. He's a personal trainer. He's been in the fitness industry over 10 years. A fitness competitor.
Correct.
I follow him. Don't slightly stalk him, but I do follow him. And the reason why I actually brought him on the show today is because we hear about a lot of bro science, and it is the word bro. It's a lot about it's male dominant bro science. Yeah. So hence why I decided to have him on the show. And for the viewers and listeners, what is bro science?
Basically, bro science is information that's passed along from bro to bro, in a gym environment. So a lot of information based, anything based basically on fitness, nutrition, that isn't really scientifically backed or factual,
So basically someone thought this made sense, help me grow.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Stuff that someone may feel is working with their own personal experiments, but there's nothing per se in the textbooks backing that said result or study, So.
I can get that. So then for some of the viewers and listeners, so now we know what bro science is. Give us an example, like one or two or three.
So some examples, a lot of them I feel revolve around the supplement industry.
Really?
Kind of like when back in the day there was always you got to take a protein shake right after your workout. That 30-minute anabolic window, right?
Really?
That's been proven also false, right? Also fasted cardio.
I do fasted cardio. You try telling me it's bro science?
To the actual science, it's all like an equation, right? Calories in, calories out, to a certain extent.
Understand.
Correct. So if you're gonna burn your calories early in the morning versus later in the evening, and I've done fasted cardio as well when I first started competing, and then with my coach I have now, he's like, hey, if you can sleep in longer, I'd rather have you rest and then doing it in the evening, right? So it's all kind of what you're intaking versus your outputting, basically. So whether you have to, if you can sleep in and you do your cardio at night, that's fine. It's not gonna kill you, right?
So basically you're saying calories in and out is more important than actual if you're done on an empty stomach or not.
Right,
okay,
exactly.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess...
And then also too, a lot of people, when they do their cardio, it's after their training. So you've already been kind of
depleted.
Exhausted and depleted a bit as well, right? So, fasted or after your training, I've done it both ways and I've never seen any difference. In fact, I've came in my best conditions when I was doing it in the evening. So
maybe because you're more rested?
Right,
I can
because
see
you get
that
extra hours sleep. A lot of people have to drive to the gym, half-hour drive, do their cardio, go back, shower. You're talking an hour, so an hour and a half.
It's so true.
Not everybody has
the gym in the condo,
right?
or just a walking space.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah.
Then, so I have an idea about what bro science is, and you give us some example. Now, when people come to you for training, and then some of them have some idea, they say something, you're like, boy, this does not make sense. It's not real. Yes.
Yeah.
So then, how do you kindly educate them or advise them?
Basically, I'll see if they come to me with this information and they're obviously aware of it, and I'm like, okay, well, have you been using it? And how is it? How has the results been? And a lot of the times they're like, oh, well, I don't see anything. So you kind of just do a bit of investigative work and you just ask them how they've heard about it, their experience with it. And if they don't have any experience, well, you just kind of try to educate them, show them some research, some true science, to kind of show them that it's not the way that they're stating it is.
Okay, so then that makes sense because you don't want to fully just crush somebody. You want to re-educate them in
with facts and and then also there are because a lot of these studies too, they're not always made by they're just general public as well. So there is some truth to some of the bro science kind of you hear. So it's really kind of like you have to go based on feelings, and like sometimes if it's too a personal experience, and a lot of times if it's too good to be true, like you kind of be like, okay, no, you know.
Okay.
So you have to kind of do your homework and kind of be sensitive at the same time too.
Then now you kind of educate them when it comes to the programming. I find a lot of people don't eat like they hear what you're saying,
Mhm.
but because they think it makes sense. So when you create a program for them, do you still incorporate some of the bro science in there, or do you like the ones that you feel that have been validated to a certain extent?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, and it all depends too on the individual, right? Everybody is so, the needs are so different from person to person, and they vary what the end goal is, also, right?
It's true.
But a lot of times, if it makes them feel more comfortable and it kind of gives a bit of familiarity to what they're used to, it kind of can help them, and then you can kind of wean them off of it as you get deeper into the
I like
program. Yeah.
Because you don't want to shock somebody, and then it makes it harder for them to trust you if you
Right.
don't feel like you're listening to them to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Then I guess
And also with the program, the rest of the program that's based on actual science and like research and whatnot, they'll see that they're getting the results if they're putting in the work and whatnot, and then they can be like, oh, hey, okay, this is actually really working, and science, and you know, there's facts backing it up, and it's the real deal, right? And then they kind of be like, okay, this bro science stuff might be.
so
But
that's
at the end of the day, you just have to, okay, you want to try? Go ahead, try it. And then once you see you don't get results, like they'll be like, hey, you know, you're the trainer. After like a couple months, you're like, okay, well, you're still looking the same or doing like you believe me now, right?
I've done that.
Right,
I've actually
like,
done that.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
the one that's paying me.
Right.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah.
You want to listen, you don't want to listen.
Yeah.
Then I think based on what you're saying, even for people that are starting off, I think you said you do your education, like don't automatically believe bro science.
Right.
Because again, some people you see in the gym, some people have their friends, they go with it, and
it depends too, because you have a lot of people I feel are really like kind of, you have two types of people I find that are like really based on like facts, and they want to see numbers and results, and you have other people who are more like kind of go with like experience and
I like that.
feelings
Yes.
and whatnot, right? So you have to kind of see and then let them experience what they believe, and then see, you know, you'll see at the end of the day, hey, it's either it's true or it's not, right?
I agree with you.
But you may waste some time as well. So
Okay, that being said, so people are understanding, you know, they like what you're saying, and you seem like you have a lot of information. If they want to reach out to you and for questions in respect to maybe bro science to see is what my friend's saying actual real or not, how can they reach out to you, and where can we find you?
the best way would probably be my Instagram, at Calvy Muscle,
I do follow him. Yes, I do. I follow
right?
him.
So you can just shout, send Mo a DM, and she'll point you in the right direction.
And it'll be in his
Right.
notes right there.
But yeah, basically my Instagram. I have a Facebook page,
You
Roman
do?
Calvy
Yes.
Training, and those are about the two platforms I use the most.
And then I guess last but not least, in respects to reaching out to you, what separates you from other personal trainers that, you know, if they want to reach out to you, why should they reach out to you?
Well, I have, growing up, I have like a pretty high level like sports background.
Nice.
Played like AAA hockey and soccer as well. And
Those
I've
two
been,
don't look like they mesh.
well, I was back in the day, I grew up in New Brunswick, so we had
Okay, that makes sense.
the harsh winters and the hot summers, so we would play soccer to kind of keep in shape for hockey, right? And also I've been training, like I said, well over 10 years. Everything I've learned has been like hands-on, factual information, and you know, so
You're scientific based in respect to
right,
training.
yeah, and also I create like kind of a macro-based diet that's custom for everybody, because everybody has different needs and
Sure.
goals, right? So not just kind of to get ripped, competition ready, but if you want to just lose
Lifestyle.
some weight, also like for sports training or whatnot. Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming by
Thank
second
you for
time.
having me again.
And
My pleasure.
I really wanted this conversation because I've heard so much about bro science and I didn't understand it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
nice to know it's bro science. It's
Right.
meant for men.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
women
There
do not
you go.
listen to this.
Yeah, yeah, no.
So thank you
Stay
again.
away. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There's nothing like sister science
No,
or
there is
girl
not.
science? No, nothing? No, okay. You don't know, maybe us men aren't aware of it, right?
It's true, I don't know.
Right, okay.
Okay, thank
Good.
you very much.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
Bye. Thank you for joining us today on our weekly episode of Health Your Way podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and please feel free to comment below and ask any questions on topics we discussed, as well as future topics you'd like to hear about. Have a happy and healthy week, and be sure to tune in next week for the next episode on